All right, it is Thursday. I am heading to work, where I work as a full-time art director, and I am just recording a quick vlog to kind of just update on the process of the graphic novel Not Death But Love that I'm working on. Last night was awesome, or I should say this morning, but last night was really super good. There's definitely nights where sometimes when you're working on comics or art where you feel like you're just kind of pushing against a brick wall and you're putting in the time, but the progress is slow. And in this case, it was like exactly as planned, where I finished up the rough that I needed to. And then I proceeded to do all of the type layout for 6 pages, as well as the border layout. So that puts me in a pretty good space for tonight's Artcasters, where I am hoping that when it comes to Artcasters, that I can basically work on the text and border pencils, which should be feasible. And we have CB Smallwood of the Wildcat Anthology, who's a member of our community, and a lot of members of our community are in that. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's good. I don't really know CB that well, so but I'm excited, and I reached out to him because my friend of the show, Robert, kind of recommended having him on, and I am really eager to kind of see how that goes. And I also, again, because of the crazy deadline I'm on, I'm kind of eager to see what I can get done, especially over the weekend. So Friday is going to be interesting. One of the stores I reached out to, it's a local comic shop. They are interested in possibly setting up a signing, and so I'm going to call them. I'm supposed to call them on Friday, and I'll try calling the store, hopefully, if I'm able. I also am supposed to get my scan on Friday, and so that'll be interesting to see how that goes down. But other than that, I think things should be pretty good for kind of just staying on task and getting this stuff done. I will say I'm also really excited about these pages because it's a lot of fun stuff. It's like it's the type of thing you like in storytelling, where there's some romance and just some interesting actions happening, and a lot of different locations, which is like kind of a breath of fresh air after we were stuck. I feel like I'm understanding, one of the things I like about working with a writer, in this case Lavender Vroman, who wrote the script. It's interesting on historical research, at least, that, and maybe not just a historical fiction book, but just any book, where I'm starting to see the transparently, the structure of the story. I've read the story, but you have to pay attention on a different level when you're taking a story and you're translating it to visual medium, and you're also trying to kind of give visual voice to the story, to highlight the themes, the actions, and try to kind of create the emotional weight of the scene that is being depicted. And what I realized is just the structure of it's so fun, because it starts really heavy for the first 20 pages, and heavy, it just feels like Elizabeth's in a bog. And then we've finally gotten to this point where the bog kind of clears for a little bit, and so we have this wonderful little paced breath of fresh air before we go back into some more heavier topics and stuff. And seeing that structurally, the way that's laid out, it's pretty nice. I also love the way that the beginning is kind of reflecting something that comes 20 pages later. So there's a lot of seeding going on in the plot, but it's very expertly written, and it makes me really admire the work. So my job is just to visually translate it as well as I can, and try to give voice and personality to each of the characters, as well as good character design and stuff like that. So I am excited to kind of see where this ends up, but I'm feeling good this morning about just being on task and being blessed enough to to be kind of where I need to be to try to hit the mark. It's going to be a crazy weekend, God willing, but we'll kind of see. We'll see what the results of the scan are for my gallbladder stuff. It may not be a big deal. That's what I'm hoping. I'm really hoping the doctor's 80 to 90% sure statement is 80 to 90% wrong. That's. I mean, how can you not hope for that when you're dealing with health stuff? But even if it's 100% on, it's not the end of the world. Hopefully, there's ways that I can kind of treat the issue, and we're just going to kind of move forward and hopefully make this book. And again, I say God willing, because who knows what's going to come up? What will come up from the book? It's really hard to tell or know. But I'm heading to work, and I'm just feeling positive. And I have to say, I've talked about this before on my vlog and on different shows, back when we used to do the 48-hour art check. But I do feel like there is this thing that happens when you do the work, you show up to do the work, and then that mystical inspiration, the kind of more supernatural part of writing and art starts to kind of take hold, and you have these great days like that. And I like to celebrate them. I'm a big fan of celebrating victories and celebrating joy in life and trying to look at good things, because it's a hard life for a lot of people, if you are fortunate enough not to experience hardship for a day, you should be really thankful for that day, because the world can be pretty tough. So anyhow, that's kind of some stuff that's on my mind. Nothing super deep today. I don't want to belabor it too much, but I'm trying to also stay in the habit of doing these updates, and that kind of ties into one of the things that has enabled me to be able to do this comic so far is I've built throughout the years a habit of every day, almost every day of the year, spending a couple hours working on comics, and it's actually starting to bear some slight fruit. And again, that's a lot of that is just me being very fortunate, and then me having done the work so that when a window opened, I had the work to present to kind of make it happen for some of these smaller opportunities. For some people, these may not be giant opportunities. For me, it's been a really cool experience. So I'm excited. We'll see where things lead, but I do know that that regardless, I need to get to work, and then I'll kind of probably get home, do Artcasters, and make some progress on the pages. Unfortunately, I'm not probably going to be able to work till 2 a.m. tomorrow, since I have the ultrasound thing in the morning, and you're not allowed to eat 8 hours before it. So my hope is to sleep in that morning and get a good rest, so that I'm not super hungry in the morning. That's kind of my thinking. Because I tend to, when I finish a stream at 2 a.m, I'll have a snack, and sometimes it's almost like a second dinner, and I think I need that, actually, because I feel like you burn a lot of I don't know what the technical term for it would be, but I think by being up a little later, you often are going to need a little bit more sustenance to kind of keep going. But in that case, tomorrow, because of the food thing, I think it might be good to kind of turn in early. And so I might try to turn in a little bit after Artcasters, depending on how much progress I can make on the penciling the panels, like the panel borders and the type. But that should be pretty feasible. So we'll see how it goes. I hope everything's going well with you guys, and that you're having a productive day. And I am kind of curious, what you guys think about like building habits. Oh, that's what I was going to say, tying into building habits before I go. So with habits, one habit that I'm trying to build is that every day before I work on art, I need to send out at least one press release and reach out to one store to promote Jacob's Apartment, and then continue to promote 2 stories, my 2 graphic novels. And hell or high water, I should try to do that on a daily basis. And it's kind of putting into practice a little bit of advice that I mentioned on the stream yesterday, but like Lujan had given me, my friend Jim Lujan, the animator, where he was talking about how you should do something like take a risk that you're a little nervous about or anxious about, like every day. Get in the practice of like kind of reaching out to people that you want to in your industry, and get in the habit of reaching out to like press organizations or shows, and just kind of taking like one little risk a day. I think it's great advice. My camera literally fell, and that is a good sign that I need to call it a day. So I hope you guys are all right. I'll see you on the next vlogins. And there was some excitement there with my phone holder falling down. All right, guys, have a good, it's like I planned it or something. But anyhow, have a good night, or day, I should say, morning. And I'll see you guys on Artcasters tonight.